Today we have scheduled a presentation on Unit 5, that
Yes,
is
sir.
cross-border tourism.
Bo- Tourism.
So you are ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we can. You want to share screen?
No, sir. क्रॉस बॉर्डर टूरिज्म वो एक्टिविटीज ऑफ पर्सन होते हैं जो ट्रैवल करता है एक बॉर्डर से दूसरे बॉर्डर में और वो वहाँ पर स्टे करता है अपना जो यूजुअल इन्वायरमेंट है वो छोड़ता है और दूसरे इन्वायरमेंट में जाता है यानी कि इसमें जो मेनली जो होता है वो एक बॉर्डर जो होता है वो क्रॉस करता है जब हम क्रॉस बॉर्डर टूरिज्म की बात करते हैं तो ये इम्पोर्टेंट है कि अगर जो जब हम दो होस्टाइल रीजन्स की बात करते हैं अगर इनमें जो क्रॉस टूरिज्म का कंसेप्ट अगर डेवलप होगा तो इनमें जो कन्फ्लिक्ट्स हैं जो राइवलरीज हैं वो ख़त्म होती हैं क्रॉस बॉर्डर टूरिज्म बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है और क्रॉस बॉर्डर टूरिज्म में जो एक्टिविटीज आती हैं इसमें जो है कि पर्सन जो है ट्रैवल करता है एक बॉर्डर से दूसरे बॉर्डर और जो अपना यूजुअल इन्वायरमेंट है वो छोड़ देता है और क्रॉस बॉर्डर टूरिज्म जब हम बात करते हैं एक बहुत ज़रूरी है इंटरनेशनल कोऑपरेशन के लिए इंटर रीजनल कोऑपरेशन के लिए या ट्रांस रीजनल एंड ट्रांस फ्रंटल कोऑपरेशन के लिए
Okay.
और उसके बाद है हमारा इसमें हमने डिस्कस किया था वो कोच सर्फिंग का कंसेप्ट भी जो किस तरह से हम अपने जो अगर हमें ये कंसेप्ट यहाँ पे डेवलप करेंगे किस तरह से हम जो है ये हॉस्टिलिटी जो है किस तरह से हम दूर कर सकते हैं इसमें हमने ये भी डिस्कस किया था जो कोच सर्फिंग का कंसेप्ट है
Right.
और उसके और उसके बाद है हमारा इसमें डायरेक्ट टूरिज्म डायरेक्ट टूरिज्म डायरेक्ट टूरिज्म को हम ग्रीफ टूरिज्म भी कहते हैं इसको हम ब्लैक टूरिज्म भी कहते हैं इसको हम मॉर्बिड टूरिज्म भी कहते हैं इसको हम ग्रीफ टूरिज्म भी कहते हैं डायरेक्ट टूरिज्म में वो involves people taking a keen curiosity in visiting places that are historically linked इसमें जो लोग जो है वो बहुत दिलचस्पी के साथ वो जगह ट्रैवल करते हैं जो किसी डेथ या किसी ऐसी ट्रेजेडी के साथ मखसूस हो जो पास्ट में गुजरी हो जैसे कि हमने इसमें बात की थी 9/11 अटैक की उसमें जो वो जब 9/11 अटैक हुआ वहाँ पर जो जिस तरह से उसी तरह से उसको महफूज किया गया ताकि जो लोग हैं वो यहाँ पर आए और वो देखें इसी तरह ऐसी प्लेसेस हैं जो डार्क टूरिज्म में कंसिडर की जाती हैं और वहाँ पर जो है लोग जाते हैं फिर इतना ही है इसमें
Okay. So that was actually the unit which was about cross-border tourism, in which we had discussed it in detail that how we can bring down the hostilities among
यस सर यस
certain countries by tourism,
यस सर
because through tourism people know each other, people explore each other, and then the hostilities are likely to go down. So for that we also discussed how we can initiate cross border tourism models so that we can involve more and more people in this type of tourism. In that regard, we talked about certain organizations which have developed some Android applications in order to connect to each other for the purpose of tourism, like couch surfing. In couch surfing, what happens that people can register, and after that they can visit some places where they can stay with the registered members. So
यस
that
सर
means it will bring down the cost of travel, because Otherwise, what a tourist has to do, he has to visit a destination and then he or she needs to look out for hotels, guest houses, or lodges to stay. And for that, they have to pay. So there may be some people who cannot afford to stay in a hotel or in a guest house because they may not have that much of money at their disposal. So, with this idea of accommodation, the accommodation cost for them will be zero because they will stay with someone who won't charge them for that because they will be the voluntary registered members who will offer them their houses to stay. So that will encourage those people also to travel who otherwise, due to lack of budget for accommodation, might not have traveled. So that is why we discussed it in cross-border tourism because in that type of tourism we will always focus upon tourism in such a way so that more and more people will travel because that will be directly proportional to the exploring of people. When more people will travel, more people will explore each other. And when more people will explore each other, they will find that there is not that much of difference. They will realize that there is nothing as such to hate each other. So with this perception, hostility will gradually calm down and the peace process among the countries will develop in the long run. So that is how we can make use of cross-border tourism as a vehicle for promoting peace among the nations, where otherwise other political initiatives might have failed. Maybe they might have been in bilateral talks. They might have trying to find a solution to it politically from quite a long period of time, but still they might not have been able to achieve that. So we can try to experiment it with cross-border tourism and see how the results will occur, to what extent it will bring down the hostilities between the nations. तो इस पर हमने बात की थी क्रॉस बॉर्डर टूरिज्म में। और उसके अलावा जो हमने डिस्कस किया था डार्क टूरिज्म,
Yes, sir.
जैसे कि हमने डार्क टूरिज्म में डिस्कस किया कि कैसे जो कुछ प्लेसेस होती हैं जिनकी एज सच तब तक वो अहमियत नहीं होती है लेकिन फिर कुछ ऐसा वाक़ा होता है कि वही जगह एक सेंटर ऑफ अट्रैक्शन बन जाती है वर्ल्ड के लिए। तो आजकल हम बात करते हैं कुछ ऐसी जगहों की जैसे हम इंडिया में जलियांवाला बाग अभी तवारीखी किताबों में दर्ज है। तो क्योंकि वहाँ पे उससे पहले वो जो बाग था उसकी वैसी अहमियत नहीं थी जो अब है क्योंकि तब तक में भी उस इलाके के लोग उस रियासत के लोग उस बाग से वाकिफ थे लेकिन आज वो बाग लगभग पूरी दुनिया के लोग उससे वाकिफ हैं because when the incident happened there where a lot of people lost their lives during the independence struggle of India. So that became a center of attraction. And now that place, it is already a center of attraction because of the historic incident that occurred over there. We can see a tragic incident that took place over there. So now there are people who want to see that place, who want to pay a visit to that place because of different motivations. So that is how we talk about dark tourism, that is to pay visit to such places which are which have become center of attractions for some sort of tragedies, for some sort of we can say uh, disaster. So that is dark tourism, and similarly, other places are also centers of attraction because of some disasters. As we talk about a place in Gujarat that was Bhuj, where a lot of people, I can say thousands of people, lost their lives in the earthquake whose magnitude was too high on the Richter scale. So there was a complete devastation after that earthquake over there. Uh, the whole area almost had collapsed during the earthquake, in which a lot of deaths, a lot of injuries took place, and it became a news in the entire globe that a place was so badly hit by the earthquake. So the place which otherwise was not that much of which people were, which was not known to people like Burj, became known to people across the globe. So as a result of which a lot of people uh, started coming over there that time also because of certain uh, motivations. Some came as volunteers to help people who were in distress over there. Some came for the purpose of providing financial support for people so that they will start reconstructing their houses or other basic amenities. Some came with the motivation of raising the morale of the people over there by uh, giving them proper counseling so that they will again stand up and start their means of livelihood and start their life afresh because there were people who lost their whole family members during that earthquake, so they were feeling completely devastated and shattered as a result. So then some came to counsel them, to raise their motivation again, and to mitigate their sufferings by providing them solace, by talking to them. You can say a sort of talk therapy. Uh, and some came with the purpose, with the motivation to see the devastation over there, see how a place can get affected by such a natural disaster. And some came to study. We can talk about the people or who are associated with the field of seismology. They came to study the earthquake, how and what magnitude can, to what extent, damage the area. So they came with that purpose. And some came to write about that place, to write books on that incident, on the life after the earthquake, to write research papers or to make documentaries. So with this, that area became a center of attraction for people. And once it became a center of attraction, it came in the limelight because people wrote about it, and other people started to know about it by reading the write-ups written on that, or by some people who created documentaries on Burj and Then rest of the people got familiar by watching those documentaries. So it gradually started its familiarity in other people as well. And then some other people also developed an interest to visit the place. So that is how it became a tourism destination, or what we can say as a dark tourism destination, because now also people come over there, although now it has been completely, we can say, rebuilt. It has been, the signs of the earthquake are almost gone over there. People are again living happily over there. But at the same time, there are some remnants of that tragic disaster which are still lying in the people's memories, and those tourists who go there, they hear those memories with them, what happened on that fateful day. And also there has been a sort of what we can say like a museum where there's a collection of some photographs or some images which are there, and at that place, that before and after, or we can say before earthquake, then during the earthquake what happened, and after the earthquake how the place is now. So this is actually what is experienced in this type of tourism, that is dark tourism. And then there are similarly such other places which are considered to be black tourism destinations or dark tourism destinations. We can talk about certain slums where there is a lot of poverty, and people are completely in a state of distress and living a sort of miserable life. So those places are also included in dark tourism destinations because of the life they are living, which is considered to be or perceived to be very miserable because they don't have that resources. They are living with meager resources. They are, we can say, malnourished. They don't have adequate food for their children, for themselves. Even they don't have adequate clothing for them. They are the people who even die during the cold season because of lack of proper clothing or proper warm blankets. So, or they are the people who don't have adequate health facility. So those people get infected with viral or bacterial infections, and they uh, are not being able to treat it for that because of lack of medical facility for them. So that way, those places are also becoming the center of attractions because even in this century, when there is a lot of facility, whether it is in the healthcare, whether it is in other sectors, that still there are people who are living such miserable lives. तो ये जो है ये स्लम्स की जो हम बात करते हैं, ऐसे स्लम्स इंडिया में काफ़ी जगहों पे पाए जाते हैं। चाहे हम कलकत्ता की बात करेंगे, या धारवी जो महाराष्ट्र में है उसकी बात करेंगे, या इवन नेशनल कैपिटल के आसपास भी अभी भी कुछ स्लम्स हैं। हालांकि वहाँ पे काफ़ी उस पर काम किया गया, रिहेबिलिटेट किए गए, लेकिन फिर भी कुछ स्लम्स अभी भी हैं जहाँ पे लोग काफ़ी मिजरेबली अपनी जो ज़िंदगी है वो बसर कर रहे हैं। और ऐसे हालात में, ऐसे कम रिसोर्सेस से जो जी रहे हैं, तो उनकी लाइफ को देखने के लिए भी लोग आते हैं। मुख्तलिफ मोटिवेशंस होती हैं उनमें जो आते हैं, जैसे अभी हमने ارتھ کے دوران جو ڈیسٹینیشن ہے اس کی بات کی کہ کس کس موٹیویشن سے لوگ وہاں پہ آتے ہیں. تو اسی طریقے سے ایسی جگہوں پہ بھی لوگ جاتے ہیں اور وہاں پہ وہ آبزرو کرتے ہیں، دیکھتے ہیں. تو یہ جگہ بھی ڈارک ٹورزم ڈیسٹینیشن بن جاتی ہے. تو ایون ایسی جگہوں پہ آج کل جو بڑے بڑے اسکولس ہیں انڈیا کے، تو وہ بھی اپنے اسٹوڈنٹس کو، بچوں کو ان جگہوں پہ کبھی کبھی لیتے ہیں. حالانکہ ان کی موٹیویشن الگ سی ہوتی ہے بچوں کو وہاں پہ لینے کے لیے. وہ ان کو اس پرپز سے لیتے ہیں کہ ان کو پتہ چلتا ہے کہ دیر آر کہ سب لوگ نہیں ہیں ایسے جیسے وہ ہیں بچے privileged ہیں. They are born in with silver spoons in their mouth. They have every facility at home. But there are kids who are struggling life in a different way. تو ان بچوں کو اس لیے وہاں پہ لیا جاتا ہے. وہ وہاں پہ ان بچوں کو دیکھتے ہیں جو ان کی ایج کے ہوتے ہیں لیکن ان کے پاس کھانے کو کچھ نہیں ہوتا ہے، پہننے کو کچھ نہیں ہوتا ہے. تو پھر ان کو جو ٹیچر ساتھ ہوتے ہیں وہ ان کو پراپرلی اس بارے میں ساتھ ساتھ کاؤنسل کرتے ہیں کہ آپ دیکھو کہ اس سے ان میں ایک سینس آف گریٹیٹیوڈ ڈیولپ ہوتا ہے. بیکاز مے بی تب تک ان بچوں میں بھی کچھ لگتا ہوگا کہ مے بی ہم اتنے فارچونیٹ نہیں ہیں، تو ان میں وہ جو تھینک فلنس نہ ہوتی. لیکن اس جو اس چیز کو دیکھ کے ان میں وہ سینس آف گریٹیٹیوڈ ڈیولپ ہوتا ہے. تو وہ سینس آف گریٹیٹیوڈ جو ہے اس سے وہ شکر کرتے ہیں پھر کہ ہمارے پاس تو اس حساب سے سب کچھ ہے. جب وہ ان کو دیکھتے ہیں ان بچوں کو جن کے پاس بالکل کچھ بھی نہیں ہوتا. تو دوسرا چیز ان میں یہ ہوتا ہے کہ پھر ان میں یہ احساس بھی پیدا ہوتا ہے کہ ہم کو کچھ شیئر کرنا چاہیے ان کے ساتھ تاکہ ان کی لائف میں بھی تھوڑی سی امپرومنٹ آ جائے. تو پھر وہ بچے اپنے حساب سے جو وہ کر سکتے ہیں، کوئی پاکٹ منی سے کچھ ان کو ان کے لیے کنٹریبیوٹ کرتے ہیں تاکہ ان کے لیے کچھ بلینکٹس لاتے ہیں یا ان کے لیے کچھ گرم کپڑے لاتے ہیں یا ان کی لائف کو بہتر بنانے کے لیے کوئی بھی چیز کرتے ہیں جس سے ان میں کچھ بہتری ہو. تو دیٹ از ایکچولی دا موٹیویشن فار ٹیکنگ سچ اسٹوڈنٹس اوور دیئر. تو وہ بھی ایک قسم کا ایک ان کے لیے ایک ٹور ہی ہوتا ہے. آپ اسٹڈی ٹور بتائیے، ایجوکیشنل ٹورزم بتائیے، تو اسی لحاظ سے ان کو وہاں پہ لیا جاتا ہے. اور اس میں یہی موٹیویشنز ہوتی ہیں کہ ان میں بھی ایک کمپیشن ڈیولپ ہوتا ہے. Because they feel they're also like us, but being underprivileged, they are facing such hard situations in their life. تو یہ چیزیں ہیں جو ہم نے بلیک ٹورزم یا ڈارک ٹورزم یا گرے ٹورزم میں ڈسکس کی. اوکے.
Yes, sir.
So this was the end of unit 5. Now we have only 1 minute جو ہم نے بھی ڈسکس نہیں کیا ریمیڈیل سیشن جس کا ہم نے نہیں لیا. دیٹ از یونٹ 4. وہ ہے
Cool.
کمیونٹی بیسڈ. تو آئی تھنک on that unit also you can prepare a presentation. After that we will have a discussion on that. ٹھیک ہے نا؟
ٹھیک ہے سر.
اچھا. اور کچھ anything else you would like to discuss
نو سر.